Hi, my name's Shane. My pronouns are she, her, and this is our second session of Monsterhearts 2 Tomb of Horrors. This game was organised as part of the Gauntlet gaming calendar. The Gauntlet is an online role playing community. If you are interested in finding out more or playing with us, check out gauntlet-rpg.com. So I would love to get all of my players, including our new player joining us for this session, to introduce yourselves. Maybe just introduce yourselves as players first, and then we'll go back and do character introductions. So I'll just go around the order that you're appearing on my screen, starting with Adam.
Okay, hello, my name is Adam, he, him. I'm in Poland, so it's actually 5 a.m. here.
Oh my god.
As of this moment. I really wanted to join this game, so it's fine. I've played quite a lot of Monsterhearts, but mostly as a GM and not as a player before, so I'm excited for the possibility. I have almost zero knowledge of D&D though. So
that's fine.
Yes, oh yeah, that's important. I've seen the video of your previous session, so I hope I'm up to date, and I know that the rules on D&D lore are lax.
Yes.
Here, and what else? And that's it. I think. I hope you have a good time together.
Great, Sam.
Hi, my name is Sam Zimmerman. I use he and him pronouns. I am very excited for this. Tomb of Horrors was my first experience in tabletop games in general, so it's very fun to revisit that. If I can really quick, I have a Kickstarter that is going to be happening soonish, so if you want to check out Typhos Games on Twitter or Facebook that's TYPHOS, to check that out, please do.
Awesome. Matthew?
Hello, I'm Matthew. I go by he, him pronouns. I don't really have anything to plug, but if you want some nutty video game, some wild takes and politics and video games, follow me on Twitter at @RsoliaMatthew.
You can mention your partner's games.
Oh, that's right. I just didn't want to be like. It felt a little nepotistic to say it. Anyway, my partner who you may have seen on the Gauntlet is Jamie of Sword Queen Games. You can check out their work at temporalhiccup.itch.io if I got the URL correctly. And you can follow her you can follow them to find them boosting other people in the independent game scene on Twitter at Temporal Hiccup. So there you go. Yeah.
Amazing. I'll make sure I put links to all these places that people are mentioning in the notes on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And my Tomb of Horrors was my last experience with Dungeons and Dragons.
I don't see why.
I don't mean to portend anything ominous by that. It's just a coincidence, really. And yeah, well, there you go. But Tomb of Horrors, the substance of wild lore and shared culture among people who play D&D, both for laughs and for groans.
And Rye.
Hi, I'm Rye, he, him pronouns, and I think this is the closest I've ever got to playing with Jamie. She's in the background here. In the background. I have played Tomb of Horrors, I think 3 times, maybe, in several different versions of D&D. So I love it, and I'm super excited about this. And thank you, Shane, for putting Monsterhearts and Tomb of Horrors together. It's brilliant.
Yes, thanks very much. So before we start, we should just go over briefly the safety tools that we're using. So the X card and the open door policy are part of the game. If anyone's unfamiliar with those, just let me know. We also have a list of lines and veils in the character keeper. Adam, did you get a chance to check the lines and veils tab and just make sure that you're happy with that? All right. So just for everyone's benefit, the lines, so that the topics that we've agreed won't be included in the game at all, are sexual violence, racial slurs, transphobia, fat phobia, violence against young children, and disease or pandemic. And the veils or topics that we won't focus on or will fade to black or skip over are homophobia and torture. The game will also run according to the Gauntlet Community Code of Conduct. Again, you can check out the Gauntlet website or forums for more information about those safety tools if you're interested. So yeah, let's reintroduce the characters, and then we can do backstories and strings for Adam's character Hope. So this time I might get us to go backwards across the character keeper, just so we sort of finish up with Hope. So that means, Right, I'll get you to introduce Dorian first, and I just want, like, as part of the introduction, so obviously, like, tell us their name, tell us who they are, their skin, what they do, things like that, anything that you want to tell us about them. But one thing I realized that we didn't cover last week that really should have been front and center in any Monsterhearts game, like, who are your characters dating? Are they seeing anyone? Are they in a relationship now? If they're not in a relationship, have they had a painful breakup? Is there someone that they're crushing on? Just sort of a bit about their, either relationships or feelings about relationships. Feel free in this part to introduce an NPC or NPCs if you'd like. Feel free to complicate and entangle each other's NPCs or relationships. But yeah, just wanted to get a bit of a sense of what the characters' love lives are like. So yeah, Ryan, do you want to lead off just introducing Dorian?
Sure, yeah. So I spent all week thinking about Dorian and feeling really bad about how much of a jerk he was last week. But I don't promise to change his behavior this week yet. I think Dorian is very single, but one of the reasons he joined the D&D club is that I think he has a crush on Jennifer. And so that makes the current drama with Cain definitely hitting him in a little bit. I don't know if he's totally open with himself about having a crush on Jennifer, but I think it's definitely underneath there. Dorian is the Queen playbook. He can telepathically kind of communicate and keep track of the rest of the members of the D&D club through some sort of weird hive mind thing that he doesn't really understand. And he has a domineering look. He always wears a lot of black, and he drives a very fast motorcycle.
Awesome. So yeah, just going left across the character keeper. Matthew, do you want to introduce Iris?
Okay. Today I'm playing Iris. She is from the playbook The Hollow. Wow. Sorry, I've been playing a lot of games, so everything's just kind of jumbled up in my head. Iris is a young girl who was conditioned, raised, engineered to do only one thing, which is to kill. And she's lost that. She's doesn't have that purpose right now. So she's still trying to figure herself out in a world that doesn't really make sense to her, and with nothing to fill the void in her existence. As for relationships, I don't think Iris has any ongoing, but I think, just make it interesting, I think she has seen enough television and movies that she is definitely trying to figure out whether or not she wants to kiss someone. Yeah.
Just someone in general, or any someone in particular?
Just in general. She's exploring it. She's exploring the idea of it. But
yeah. Cool. And Sam, do you want to introduce Cain?
I definitely do. Cain is our infernal. Cain uses he and him pronouns. He is quiet. He has burning purple eyes, and he is the lackey of the trickster demon Papazotzel, who, for any of the D&D nerds out there, is one of the 7 trickster gods that Sararak captured or entombed in his quest to becoming a lich, which makes this all the more exciting. I was thinking that Cain is probably getting out of a very messy breakup. And if it's okay with Adam, I would like to make that breakup with one of your NPC, like somebody from your circle, somebody that you know closely. I don't know who that would be.
I was thinking that Hope was actually a big loner, and I don't know if there would be a set of NPCs to choose from.
Is there maybe one NPC that you are very close with?
We can make someone up on the fly. Like,
or would a sister or something like that work, or a brother, like a sibling?
Sure.
Would that work for what you're thinking, Sam?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Someone who goes to the same school, maybe a year older or younger, that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I like maybe like the younger sibling. That's fun.
Would it have been a sister or a brother, or you?
Up to Adam.
Up to you, I think.
I think Cain,
no, in Monsterhearts it is very much not up to you.
Yeah, I think Cain is bi, so I don't think he would prefer either way. So
let's make it a sister.
Perfect. Okay.
Let's make it a younger sister named Charlotte.
Cool. And tell it like messy breakup. Do you want to tell us a bit about that? Like what happened?
I'm thinking that it's the messy breakup in that nobody really wanted to say that it's the end, and so it's this weird extended, like both are like half in and not really out of it, and nobody's happy and everybody's frustrated, and it just sucks.
Okay, cool. So Charlotte wouldn't be happy to know that you've been flirting with Jen.
I don't know that we'll figure out how that works, because I don't know that I was flirting. I think it was just a
okay,
or at least it was intentional flirting.
God bless this mess.
Cool. All right, great. So, Adam, do you want to introduce Hope?
Yes, Hope is a ghost, which means she is dead. I think she's been dead for a month, maybe, something like that. So that it's still a little bit fresh, but she's slowly getting used to it. She's been realizing for some time that something has really changed in her condition. I think the fact that she was a big loner and outcast even before that made it harder for her to realize that maybe she's not alive anymore, because there wasn't at first there wasn't really that much of a difference in how the world approached her, but eventually she realized that people are really not paying attention to her anymore, and she's been finding these situations more and more, that she walks into a room and nobody pays attention, nobody notices, and she can sit right by someone and they get startled all of a sudden when they see that someone's there, and she might have been there for a long time already, and maybe before she speaks or does anything or touches someone, it can take hours before someone can notice that she's in the room with them. I'm thinking that's how maybe it works with her. So since that happened, she's taken to observing other people. I think maybe she's starting to live vicariously through other people a little bit, because her life is really kind of empty at the moment. The origin part. I was thinking I'd choose the option confused death, so that we don't really know what happened yet. I was thinking I saw the map that you threw together the last time. There were those rocky cliffs on one side of the town, if I'm not mistaken. I think maybe she lives close by, and she liked to take those long hikes all alone at night, and to be on her own, and to be with her thoughts. And maybe she was walking along the ridge, some time, like trying to balance and maybe get that rush of adrenaline by walking on the precipice, and then something happened. Maybe someone pushed her, maybe she fell, maybe it was Iris in one of her fits of her programming kicking in. Maybe it was connected with the dark power that Cain has. Maybe it was Cain himself under the influence of dark power. Who can tell? Who knows? Maybe we can play to find out.
Cool. Yeah, I love that. And like you said that she's quite a loner, so I assume that means that she's not in a relationship at the moment. Is that right?
No, but, yes, I'm thinking she's not, but I suppose she might have been crashing on Dorian, because I think it's quite I believe it's quite a popular option at this school to be crashing on Dorian. So
even though he's a huge jerk.
Yes, but he's the queen, so it's the natural thing. But I don't think Hope would be into jokes or someone like that. I think she would be into the dark leader of the D&D cult. But maybe recently, since she's been dead, maybe she's been taking a much greater interest in Cain, because there is this darkness around him that she feels, that she senses in the first place, and then she feels drawn to it.
Amazing.
I think that could work, and I think that's it for now.
All right. Well, let's just do your 2 backstory prompts, which might be relevant here as well. Sorry, I'm just opening up my copy of the reference sheet. So someone knows that you're dead and how you died. They gain 2 strings on you. Who do you think that is?
I was thinking about Iris, maybe, because she lives in the woods, and maybe she wanders around town at night all alone as well. So she might have just been there or seen what happened. If that's okay with Matthew, of course.
I'm absolutely okay. I was like, I knew it.
I'm also thinking that maybe Iris and Hope, there could be some mutual understanding and connection, because they're both really not normal people anymore. So they're not regular living, breathing people. So maybe there's something there.
I like that, and I just want to ask. So, when you say I found I discovered your deathly nature, would you say like maybe I discovered your body, or I saw you die? Like, how would that work out for you?
Well, I think that depends on how we work out the details of my death. So maybe let's keep it vague for now. Let's just leave it at you know that I'm dead and you saw what happened. Maybe you did it yourself.
Maybe, right? Like, I like the idea that we'll just say, at the start of this television show, I know you're dead, but we'll elaborate. Ooh, why do they know he's dead?
Yeah, I love that.
All right.
So you maybe Iris would be extra curious as to why Hope is participating in the D&D club all of a sudden, because she's the only one who notices maybe her. Something like that. Maybe we'll work it out.
Thanks for giving me that angle, actually, that Iris would be more intrigued about why Hope is in the group than the backstory part, because it makes the backstory remain vague, even at the start of the session. Yeah.
Okay.
So Iris takes 2 strings on Hope, and Hope has also been inside someone's bedroom while they were sleeping. Take a string on them. Whose bedroom have you spent time inside?
To follow up on what I said earlier, I think definitely Cain, because I've been observing him the most, because I feel there's something very strange going on with him, and maybe there's a little bit of me wanting to help out other troubled kids. Maybe I see that he's a very troubled young person, like I used to be, and maybe not having a purpose in my life anymore as such. Maybe I'm looking for something to latch onto, and maybe he can be that for me.
Okay,
so
I
that's
like
what I'm
that.
saying.
What did you do the first time I floated out of my bed?
Oh, you floated out of your bed?
I think there's a dream that happens every night that I don't know, but like I have the same dream every night, and when it happens, I float about 2 feet off the bed and start spinning, and then I go back down.
Ooh, I think I didn't disturb you because it's not my place to interfere with other people's affairs, but I definitely laid down on your bed while you were above it for a while. And then
Okay.
as I saw you were about to come down, I quickly slipped out and moved on.
Such a weird teen thing to do, but yes.
I need to know. I need to find out about you, and it seems like a good idea at the moment.
I don't want to speak too prematurely about where the story is going to go, but I kind of feel like Adam, sorry, what was your character's name? Hope, yeah. I kind of feel like what got Hope into trouble might have something to do with curiosity.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. There's also this refinery that you have, and the burned out convent, right? So I think there's all sorts of weird possibilities there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the map, like you saw that last time, I got people to mark down where their homes are, and also a couple of important locations. I would love to get you to do that now. If you just want to pop Hope's home on the map somewhere.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how to use the tools, so
I
have
mean, if you
to give me a sec.
Yeah, that's fine. If you want me to draw it in for you, you can just tell me where you want to put it as well.
Okay, I was thinking to put Hope's house somewhere near the Rimrock, maybe between the Rimrock and the refinery, somewhere in that area.
Yeah. Like around here? Can you see that?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And what sort of important location would you like to add?
I didn't think about it.
I mean, as a ghost, does Hope still go through going to school, obviously, but does she, maintain the pretense of a normal house life?
I think so. I think her parents don't know what happened, and but they started to get really distant, and they stopped noticing her. It's like they forgot that they ever had another daughter. So I think she just floats into her house. Nobody saying hello. She goes to her room. She goes back downstairs. The following day goes to school, and it's really no more engagement than that. That's how I imagine it. I'm thinking about this important location. I'm sorry. No, I feel.
That's okay. Do you want to come back to it? Like you're welcome to just think about it.
Can we put a pin on it?
Yeah, of course. Okay. Great. So I think that's all the character stuff that we needed to look at. Where are we? So, and sorry, like, how has Hope come to the D&D club? Like, why is she joining the group?
So I have two ways to go here. One thing is that maybe she's just stopped attending classes that much, and she's wandering around corridors instead of being in class. So that definitely grabbed the attention of teachers. And maybe she's smoking at school because she doesn't see why not, and she might be stealing some stuff from other people because she doesn't respect boundaries anymore. So that's one way to go about it. The other thing that came to my mind is that maybe she didn't get sent to the club like the rest of you. Maybe she just wanders in one day because that's what she does, and you're not even sure if she wasn't there in the first place last week. Maybe she was, because that's the effect that she has on people, right? You suddenly see her by the table alongside of you, and it seems like she's been there all along. Makes sense.
Yeah, it's got a bit of an Ali Sheedy in the Breakfast Club quality. I like
this
it.
is exactly the inspiration for my character.
I just want to say I also like the entertaining notion of a delicious irony in which her Hope's parents can't see her. Like it's like this weird reverse Silent Hill the movie effect where they just she's now in this weird like non-plane where she can't be perceived, but when she's at school, like for some reason the faculty still recognizes her. That's like incredibly perverse.
Yeah.
I think if she speaks to her parents, they will recognize her, and they will be surprised that she's home and ask how her day was. And then the moment she stops speaking, they forget that she's there. That they forget they had a conversation. I think that's how it works, more or less. So I think I'm more drawn to the second option, that she's just coming in, like she's been there all along. If you're okay with that.
I mean, I love that she may in fact have been there for the whole first session that you, Adam, were not at, and we just didn't notice her.
But she didn't really feel the need to speak, so no one noticed her. That's right. She was just observing everyone.
Sure. Cool. So we finished up last week just at the end of the D&D game. The D&D club was breaking up, so it's kind of early Saturday afternoon. So I guess to start today, I just want to kind of go around and ask you like what your characters would do for the rest of the weekend. And you're welcome to just like, give a brief summary, or if you want to play out a scene or something like that, that's totally fine. So yeah, maybe I'll just go back across the character keeper. Adam, what does Hope do for the rest of the weekend?
Same as usual. She wanders around town. She walks into people's houses if the door is unlocked, or window, as in the case of Cain's bedroom. I think maybe she tries to find out more about the people that are in the D&D club, because she's intrigued by some of them. I think that's it.
Okay. And when you say tries to find out more about those people, like, do you mean by visiting their homes or? Yeah.
Following them all the way from school to their home, maybe. Looking through the windows into inside their houses, trying to get inside their bedrooms, touching their stuff, maybe taking some stuff with her. Maybe she has this knack for stealing little things from the places that she visits.
All right. Well, let's find out what the other characters are doing, and then we can think about who she might have followed home.
Okay.
So, Cain, what are you doing for the rest of the weekend?
I think Cain very pointedly tries to spend as little time at home as possible. So when he's not at the D&D club, he is either hanging out at a restaurant or somewhere that he can sit down and sketch his or write in his notebook that he brings around with him. Or he's off doing jobs that he doesn't know why he's being assigned these things to do by the voice in his head. I think that there's very pointedly like portions of the weekend that Cain just can't remember afterwards because he wasn't supposed to know something.
Okay, that's interesting. Does Cain remember this dream that he has every night?
I think it's the kind of thing where while it's happening, he knows, oh yes, this is the thing that happens every night. But as soon as it's over, he can't, it's just not there. Or if it's there, it's blocked off.
Iris, what are you doing over the weekend?
So, what Iris does for the weekend, I don't know about both days, but definitely one of those nights she goes to like the abandoned drive-in. I realize I could put that in the map, but yeah, let's say there is one. And
we have a drive-in on the map, I think.
Oh, we do. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. an abandoned drive-in, the Skyline Drive-in, I guess. Yeah, breaks in, and just sort of like rifles through the film canisters. Yes, we're using analog technology because it's cool, and just sets up, picks a movie at random and like loads it, and then just gets into one of the cars that's there. Like, let's say it's a car that somebody forgot to pick up, just left it there. It's accumulating dust. Someone's written the words "wash me" on one of the windshield. you know? Yeah, and she gets some stale popcorn and just puts her feet on the dashboard and watches old movies from there. Movies so old. They're from the 90s.
Wait, we're in the 80s, so it can't be from the 90s.
Oh, we're in the 80s, so I guess 60s, yeah.
60s. Like, what sort of movies does Iris like, or will she just watch anything?
You know what? I don't know my exact timeline for 60s, but I'll just pick a classic movie at random. How about that Marilyn Monroe movie where she does like an identity switch, where like where she pretends to be a brainiac, I think, but actually she's like playing this. I'll look up the title quickly, but yeah, that one.
Okay, I'm happy. I love that it's a Marilyn Monroe movie showing in the drive-in. That's great.
Yeah.
Cool. And what's Dorian up to?
So I think the first thing we see is a scene of him sitting in his room with his like overpowered stereo, just blasting some really hardcore metal, and he's just like really mad about how D&D Club went. And then there's a scene of him on his motorcycle traveling to like the bigger city and stopping in a game store and buying something. And then what was the name of the cult called again? I asked you like twice last week.
Sorry. Let me rifle through my notes quickly. The Holy Fire Evangelical Bible Study Group. Let's just call them Holy Fire.
And so then the last thing is you see him up on the Rim Rock. Where do they meet? Where does the Holy Fire Evangelical?
They have set up a meeting place in the Sisters of the Quiet Way convent, which they have been steadily rebuilding over the last few months after it sat burned out for decades.
Perfect. So then you see him on top of the Rim Rock, and he the only class he actually likes in high school is photography, and he has this like gigantic zoom lens, and he's just sitting on top of the Rim Rock, like basically just like, because when he took his purchase, which is a copy of the Tomb of Horrors, and put it back into his bag, he found that flyer that he took, and so now he's like spying on them basically with his gigantic telephoto lens and taking pictures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess you can see like through the window that there is some sort of meeting going on late into the night on the Saturday evening. You can't quite make out what they're saying. Matthew, I wonder if Iris like is just watching the movie, like, because I think to get sound in a drive-in in the 80s, you needed like a special box to be wired, like on you like set a box sort of radio wired thing on your car window. So I wonder if Iris can hear what's going on in the movie or just has to watch the images go by.
I think the audio set-top thing is not working. I don't think Iris is that technically proficient to work with it. So she's watching this movie silent. She's watching How to Marry a Millionaire, starring Marilyn Monroe, where she's like, she pretends she can't wear glasses in order to convince a man to look at her, and it doesn't work out, but it also works out. I'll get that.
I love Iris potentially modeling herself a little on Marilyn Monroe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the Marilyn who might throw you out a second story window if she's angry.
Mm-hmm.
So, Hope, which of the other three? Well, which of the other three, or any of the other characters in the D&D club, any of the NPCs, do you think that you followed when the group wrapped up?
I'm thinking maybe Dorian, because I saw how he was behaving after the session wrapped up, and he was visibly irritated with some people, and I think maybe it intrigued Hope, or maybe worried her is a better word. She was concerned that he might be up to something up to no good. So she maybe followed him just to make sure he wouldn't hurt anyone. Maybe I don't know what she would do if she tried to hurt someone. I think maybe she wanted to find out.
Yeah, right.
Also, I think she noticed the strange connection she has with some of the people in the club. So maybe she was intrigued by that as well.
And does Hope have like a vehicle? How's Hope getting around?
I don't think so. I think she just walks around. Maybe she's a really fast walker ever since she changed, but I don't think she has a vehicle now.
Okay, so maybe she loses Dorian for a while as he zooms off on his motorbike,
and then she's able to miraculously find him somewhere else in town. It's like
so finds him later that night. Sees him from a distance, up on the rocks, looking down through his spyglass at this. Well, what was once the nunnery, famously, burnt down so many years ago. Dorian, as you're like so focused on the building, the window, trying to get a better view inside, not really looking so much where you're going, you feel your foot like push into something wet and gross on the ground. And as you look down, sorry, let me just check before we go here. Nobody put this as a line or veil, but tell me if you would like to make this a line or veil. In line with the Satanic Panic theme, I'm thinking of describing some animal mutilation. Does anyone want to X-card that? Like, it's fine if you do.
At this level, I'm fine.
Okay.
I can't speak for everybody else. So just veil. Like,
no explicit details is good.
Yeah.
I think I will line us doing it.
Yep. That's very fair.
No, I endorse that too.
Okay. So Dorian, you find that a cat has been clearly sacrificed. There are weird occult markings around it. It's lying in the dirt. It looks like it was once someone's pet. You can still see the collar on it. What do you do?
Steps back in revulsion, first of all, and kind of tries to shake whatever he got on his shoe off, because even though he's got like kind of hardcore like combat boots on, they don't get dirty. He like makes sure they're clean. And then like once, like at first he thinks it's just gross, and then he's like notices the kind of occult markings, and that kind of intrigues him because he's got this weird thing going on where he can now hear people's thoughts and doesn't know why that's happening, but there's weird stuff going on, and so this is another weird thing, and so maybe there's a connection or something. So he'll get down and kind of look at them, and then I think he'll take a couple pictures of them too.
All right. So he carries a camera?
Yeah, he didn't have like a spyglass. He has like a big telephoto
right
on his camera. So he like switches lenses for the like close-up one and like takes some pictures of this thing.
All right. So Hope,
Sorry.
Sorry,
80s photography weirdo. I love it.
Like 20 rolls of film, which kids these days don't even know what that is. So.
So Hope, you see Dorian kind of step back awkwardly. You can see that he must have stepped into something, and then kind of crouches down and takes some photos. Do you react to that? What do you do?
Does that count as observing someone in an intimate moment?
Huh. Dorian, do you think that?
Yeah, he's into photography, and so he's taking his time getting the f-stop right, and it's dark out, so he's moving so the moonlight gets right there, and I think he might even have a flashlight with him because he's been in between taking pictures, he's been reading the Tomb of Horrors, so I think he even takes a couple pictures with the flashlight in weird positions to get something.
Mm-hmm. So if that's a private thing that Dorian is engaged in, I think I would like to take a string on him, because I have a move that allows me to do that, because I'm a creeper. And then I think I'll speak after a while. First, I'm just looking fascinated at him taking the pictures and being so meticulous about it. And then I speak out. Hey, that cat's dead,
Does so Dorian just jumps up real quick, and the only thing that saves his camera is that it's on a strap around the neck. And the flashlight goes spinning, and he one second.
Yeah, right. We'll come back to Dorian and Hope.
Okay.
So, Cain, you spend Saturday, doing some sketching and things like that. Sorry, Rye, we're just going to come back to your characters in a sec. So if you need to deal with anything, that's fine. Doing some sketching and things like that at a cafe or wherever it is you go. You realize at some point you've blacked out, that there's some time you can't account for. And when you sort of come back to your senses, you're in some sort of, it looks like a storeroom. It's pretty dark. You don't recognize it immediately. Right. But you see that there are some piles of what look like film canisters all around you, like you would expect to find in a cinema or a drive-in. And there's a door leading out of the room. What do you do?
Well, the last time this happened, somebody found me where I got out, and I wasn't really supposed to be there. So let's leave. I'm not going to question what Papazotto had me doing in here, but I don't want to be here for the aftermath of whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. So you open the door and you step outside, and you immediately recognize Skyline Drive-In, which should be, obviously should be closed, shouldn't be showing anything at the moment. But you are surprised to see Marilyn Monroe wearing some glasses up on the big screen, and a lonely car in the middle of the I don't know, what do you call it, parking lot, just in the middle of the drive-in, I guess. What do you do? You can see that there's someone in the car. Probably not from here tell who it is.
Yeah. I think I'm at least curious about what's going on, if not I think I'm not gonna approach, but I'm at least gonna as I'm going out, as I'm walking kind of sort of toward the entrance, not really, just trying to see if I can get a better look and see what's going on. I'm trying to kind of be subtle about it, because I don't know who's actually paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I'm not supposed to be here. This is definitely somewhere that's been chained off and roped off, and I don't know how I got here.
Yeah. Iris, are you so absorbed in the film that you wouldn't notice this, or do you notice that Cain that someone's come out of the storeroom?
I think Iris may have seen this film more than once, enough that she can go in and out of the picture. So she's periodically okay, so in her wanderings around town, like she doesn't really get caught, but like she's definitely always keeping a lookout for knowing that she goes into spaces that
Yeah.
she shouldn't be. So she's sort of just kind of like looking back or left and right every 10 minutes or so, and I think that might be an opportunity for her to see Cain.
And if you're a trained killer, you definitely have like better instincts than most people for when people are around, right?
Yeah,
That tracks.
it's like eyes in the back of the head, but also actual backup with real with the front eyes.
So you realize that Cain has come out of the storeroom, and you're sure that when you were in there, not that long ago, when you got the film canister out, there wasn't like he wasn't in there then, and he didn't go in there after you. So it seems like something's up. What do you do?
I look at Cain and I'm like, hey weirdo.
That's Cain's signal to turn and start hurriedly walking away. Do you chase after him and try and get answers?
Yeah. Trying to figure out how to do this. It just. So. Sorry, I kind of like lost my thought there a bit. No. Yeah. I think Iris would give chase definitely. Yeah.
Sorry, just to flag a mechanic you might want to engage here. You do have a string on Cain, so you can offer an XP to do what you want if you want him to stop and talk to you or something like that. Or you can just continue with the chase, whatever you feel.
Yeah. I sort of asked Cain, like, to tell me how he got, how he got lost and found his way here, and I don't know how to tempt them. Sorry, I'm just not an experienced Monsterhearts player. I'm just not sure how to tempt them to do what I want.
So, you can just the offering the XP is a kind of metagame moment, or it's something that you do as a player rather than a character. So you can just call out to Cain, and then as a player offer Sam an XP if Cain responds.
I'll sort of compel him to commiserate in the weirdness, of the situation and the weird lives we live.
Yeah, I think it like you. I think we get the moment like you turned around and just said hey, and Cain just immediately started rushing off, and then you say his name and he stops.
The way I kind of imagine also that Iris sort of like in her own deadpan ways sort of goads people into explaining themselves to her, and I think like even if she's not explicitly threatening anyone, there's just sort of like low-key menacing aura that makes people explain themselves around her when she does something like that with a string. And I think I guess I'll mark the string off, right? And I think don't forget Cain to take the XP.
The 1 XP, which is my first one.
Huh. Cool.
I have cleared the string.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I think that Cain stops like the weird awkward stops in his tracks and is just standing in the middle of this driveway and slowly turns around. He's got both his hands in his pockets. He looks a little bit sheepish.
Yeah, and I think to complement that vibe, that sheepish vibe, I think Iris should be standing on the back of the car. So so she's sort of looking down at Cain from the position of her feet on the trunk, her shoes on the trunk. Yeah,
I imagine that she blocks she's standing in the projection beam as well. So there's a little bit of Marilyn projected across her, and her shadow is 20 feet high on the screen behind.
That's so good.
That's so good.
So you're going to talk to Iris?
And just for descriptions purposes, like Cain is just he just looks like he, outside of his sheepish and embarrassed demeanor, he's not like covered in anything amiss, like nothing that would tell me like he's radiating with magic or covered in blood or I don't know, whatever. None of that stuff, right?
I don't think I'm covered in blood. I wouldn't rule out like tar or oil or something. like maybe like up to his knees is just like covered in like grease or oil or something.
And I ask, where have you been? And I look up to your tar stained thighs. Or
and I look down, and it's the first time I notice it too. And I'm like, what the? I don't know, Iris. What are you doing here?
And I reach into my coat, and I just sort of like, I have a pack of cigarettes, which let's just admit I probably stole somewhere.
Ooh, that
and,
no, you picked one of them up from the D&D club.
Yeah, but
Dorian dumped a whole bunch on the table.
Oh, that's right. It was a bunch. I thought I just got a stick. So yeah, and I smack it, and I take one out. I'm like, look here, catch your breath, and I give Cain one of the smokes so that he can regain his composure and tell me what happened.
Yeah, I think Cain walks back to you and like shakes his head, takes the smoke, I guess,
and lights it for you.
Thanks.
So can I just ask, like, what's Cain thinking in this moment? Because you have this insight about who Iris really is.
Yeah.
And presumably also some confusion and concern about what's just happened. Like, what's Cain thinking?
If I remember correctly, all that I got from my patron was that Iris is dangerous and there's more to her than we know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wasn't given the full story, and so like I'm a little bit scared, frankly. Like,
yeah,
why am I here? Like, why bring I'm looking at my legs and trying to put two and two together. Like, I was clearly at the refinery. Why am I here? Like, all the way across town, and she's here, and what is going on? And so like I'm trying to process this in my head as I'm just sitting there pointedly not answering Iris's questions.
At that point, I just sort of like look into Cain's eyes and sort of like, because that's where his abyssal, his energies like tend to manifest, right?
Yeah, he's got these burning purple eyes.
Yeah, that's right. I pierce him with a gaze and into his eyes, and I use that as an opportunity to sort of like figure out what is going on, and I gaze into the abyss.
Okay.
You gaze into my abyss. I love that.
Yeah, exactly.
I liked that I was really unsure whether you're going to say I use that to turn someone on or I gaze into the abyss. I appreciate the ambiguity.
How exciting was that uncertainty for all of us people? Yeah, so gaze into the abyss, and I forgot to open the roller. Where's the roller?
Yeah, I don't have it open either. Does someone have a link, or should I just pop up a new one?
I have these things on my... Wait. No, I don't have... I have dice here. Do I have dice here?
I'm just going to pop a link in the chat for a new dice room.
I have a D6. There we go. There we go. And another D6. Shall I roll them?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Gaze is dark, right?
Yep. Roll with dark.
Oh, hey. +2 dark. Let's see what happens. 5, 6, 7, 8. If people think me in good faith that roll was accurate. It's an 8.
An 8. So the abyss shows you confusing and alarming visions, but you get your answer nonetheless. So I think that the alarming, confusing visions, like for a moment you see that I mean, Sam, please tell me if you think this isn't like true to what we would get from Cain. But those purple energies, you see them manifesting Cain's eyes again, and they take the shape of this large, like almost like a crane type creature, crackling purple, impossible, horrifying, and then it looks like a crane, but some sort of weird like crane demon. And then the image disperses just as quickly as it came. It almost, it's almost like you just caught the hot beam of the projector in your eye, and this image appeared. But that's what you saw for that moment. And let's take a break here.
All right.
So
Yeah.
our first break. We'll come back at 10 minutes past the hour if that's good for everyone.
Sure.
Great. All right. Is everyone good to keep going? Cool. So, sorry, Dorian and Hope, you are up on the rocks, sort of overlooking the formerly burnt nunnery that's been recently rebuilt, and the remains of a domestic cat that someone has weirdly sacrificed, probably quite close to the spot, Hope, where you recently met your fate. Dorian, what do you say to Hope when you realise that she's there? Sorry, you're muted. Are you talking? Yeah, no worries.
So I think maybe as I speak to Dorian, I walk out of whatever hiding place I was in and get close, because I imagine the cat and Dorian are very close to the edge, edge of the cliff. So I walk out there, a little tentatively, but it's as if something was pulling me in that direction. And I approach the ridge on which I used to walk so many times before, and then maybe I get a little flashback to what happened that night. And what I'm trying to say is I want to get the condition traumatized, because this place reminds me of my death.
Yeah, absolutely. So what does that look like? Like, what does Dorian see in your face as you sort of remember your death?
Maybe she stands on the very edge of the precipice. It almost looks like she's about to lose balance at any point. Maybe he even feels reflexively that he should help support me or something. But she gazes downward and sways a little, and it's as if she's tempting fate to fall off again. And she seems really out of it for a moment.
I think he'll stand up and kind of reflexively reach out and say, "Are you okay?"
And then she snaps out of it, and because she doesn't respect boundaries, as we've established, she grabs his hand, like with no warning, and you can feel this really cold, dry touch of her hand.
I think that's so. It doesn't feel like alive and humanish.
It feels strange, definitely.
Okay, I think he's kind of like pulls you a step back, but as soon as you're on uneven footing, he's kind of like letting go of your hand, very obviously disconcerted. What are you doing up here?
And she ignores your question and instead looks at the remains of the cat at your feet and just asks casually, "So did you kill it?"
No, I didn't kill it. I just stepped on it. I don't know. There's like writing around it. I was taking pictures.
Why would you take pictures of it?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, wait, what?
Would you like to take pictures of me? Hey, can this be a turn on?
Yeah,
You-
I think
if
you
that's
should
what
roll
you're
it. I think you should roll that. Yeah.
I keep picturing her as having no like no social how do you say it? No understanding of social norms anymore. It's like she goes straight to the point in a way that she doesn't really think how it would be read by the other side. So I'm bad at turning people on. So that's good. D6 and modifier -1. Yeah, my heart is minus. Okay, just checking. Okay. That's exactly what I imagined would happen when Hope tries to turn someone on.
No, I don't want to take pictures of you. I don't even like Dorian. I think he's gonna be. He's like torn. Like he just kind of like wants to get out of here now. Like this is like kind of freaking him out, and like this person saw him taking pictures, which is kind of like violated like a private moment for him. And I think he's like, anyway, what? I guess I'll see you in D&D group or something. Hope you can do whatever you want with the cat. And starts walking over towards his bike, and I think you see him like pull something out of his like sweatshirt pocket and try to like inconspicuously put it in his bike. He's got like a bag, like, or I guess maybe it's like maybe his bike has like a seat, right, that pops up where the helmet's at, so he like puts it in there and then gets his helmet out.
Before he gets to ride away, you hear a loud man's voice. Sorry, I'm getting a bit of an echo on the recording. Is that? Oh, yeah, thanks. A loud man's voice from behind where Hope is standing say, "A young woman's modesty is her most valuable possession." And you hear this man walk closer. He is a tall, large man with a long beard, wearing quite a prominent crucifix, neat clothes, and he offers Hope a small flyer of some kind. Will Hope take the flyer from him? And it's a flyer for Holy Fire, for the church that's establishing itself in the former convent downstairs. But he almost ignores Hope as he continues to walk towards Dorian. So Dorian's like almost onto his bike at this point. Are you gonna like wait for this guy who seems to want to offer you something, or are you leaving?
Well, I think Dorian's really getting weirded out because he's on top of a rocky bluff in the middle of the night, was kind of spying on these people down off the edge, and now one of them's up here handing out flyers like yeah, this is where kids come to make out, so I guess you could come up here and evangelize. But
Are you going to say that to him, or?
Yeah, I think he's just like, what the hell are you doing up here? Like,
do you want to roll to shut him down, or is it more like an actual question?
Yeah, he's more of a question. Like, why are you up here?
Often find it calming to wander the rocks, look out on the ocean, reflect, and in this time he will get close enough to offer you a small pamphlet. He holds it out towards you. You can see that it's typewritten on on blank, like plain typewritten on paper.
And it's different than the flyer I got.
Yeah, this is like texty. That was more like an image with a time and a date, a location. That was an ad. This is some sort of a pamphlet.
Look, I mean, I know you guys are doing your thing down there, but I don't need any more reading material. And your posters are kind of cool with all the fire on them, but I don't really got time for that, man.
I think you would find this parable very illuminating. Please take it with my blessings.
Can I take it without your blessings?
I think you have to roll to shut him down for that.
And I think I'm gonna roll, but I'm gonna gun my bike when I and reach out to grab it.
Okay.
This is shut someone down. What is that with? Cold?
With cold, I think.
Cold. Okay.
Oh, what is with the dice rolling today? All right. So I will come back to you and think about what move might happen there. So back at the drive-in, Cain and Iris, do you sit down together to watch this movie? Do you end up partying? Do you go somewhere else? What happens in?
I don't mean to speak for Sam too much. Sorry, for Cain. So let me know if this is what I think. At this point, when we cut back to them, they're both sitting on the trunk with their backs to the movie, and that's when they got the stale bucket of popcorn between them, and Iris is trying to get, I guess, Cain to open up on what it is she saw in his eyes, and Iris is like, there's, what was that? It's not even she doesn't even try to navigate, try to dance around it. She knows what she saw.
I like that. The one thing I'm gonna add, I like this. I think the one thing I'm gonna add is that it's been 20 minutes, and this is we've just been sitting here kind of awkwardly, I can't leave. You won't let me leave. But finally, after 20 minutes, you just come out and say, "So what was that?"
Yeah. Yeah, and she doesn't dance around the question. It's not one of those did I see what I thought I saw? Will he admit to me? No, we just go straight. I saw, Iris saw what she saw in Cain's eyes, and is trying to understand, it's just someone it's just it's something we should worry about.
Cain's first instinct is to, of course, obfuscate and what is what? What are you talking about?
I saw something that looked like something out of one of those monster manuals. Yeah. One of those monster manuals that Jennifer and Dorian love so much. You sure you're not taking this game too seriously?
I want to. Sorry, just checking my moves. Yeah, I want to give the dark power another string on me to figure out something about Iris in this moment. All right. I think this is the I'm trying to figure out if I can trust her. But so mechanically, what happens here is you get the owner of that character will reveal one of their secret fears, secret desires, or secret strengths, their choice.
Mm.
And so you Matthew, can decide what of those things you think would either make me trust you or make me not trust you.
All right, so I think you can help me mechanically decide the result of that. I'll tell you what I tell you, which is that.
Yeah.
Wait. Is there a role for this? I don't remember.
Nope.
Okay.
The dark power gets a string on me for doing that.
Okay, so the secret fear that Iris that is revealed to you about Iris is that she is afraid that she will be called back again. That some force or some persons will take hold of her and like draw her back into killing again.
That's perfect.
And it won't be her choice. You know what I mean? It's not. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
sorry, can I ask a question about that? Sorry to interrupt. Like, is she worried specifically that like the people who did this to her will draw her back in, or is she worried that she'll be in circumstances where she'll have to kill again?
I think she's worried about losing her bodily autonomy, and that has more to do with the people who made her.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Thanks.
Yeah.
So you happen to be hitting on a lot of themes that Cain is also struggling with in this moment. So I think that he is kind of maybe finding a kindred spirit in this moment, even if he doesn't necessarily realize it. And I think that Cain should say it like that. I think that Cain's response is more confused and broken than that, because I don't think that he is eloquent enough to be like forthright in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like you're asking, you don't know what you're asking about. You don't want to know what you're asking about.
Listen, I know. For as little as I've seen, for as little as I've seen, clearly you're mixed up in with darker powers, and
I don't want you to get mixed up in them.
What is it? You don't want me to get mixed up in them. All right, you decide. You decide for yourself, of course, like whether you want to decide for yourself what destiny or what future you have with these darker powers. But what is it you really want? You can't just turn away from what I saw in there. But what is it you really, really want from out of this?
Out of what? What I want doesn't matter. None of it matters.
Do you want to be? It's not about what matters. It's about It's about working towards what will bring you peace.
You're talking like you know what's happening. You're talking like you have some ideas about what's going on in my head, and you have no clue what is going on in my head. And you don't want to. And trust me when I'm saying I'm saving you right now.
I lash out at Cain physically.
Wow. What do you do?
Look, I'm asking you what you want for yourself. But that doesn't mean you get to decide for me. Like, you don't get to make decisions for me.
How are you lashing out physically? Are you like grabbing me by the front of the shirt? Are you pushing me off the car?
Yeah, sort of like it's an argumentative shove, so it's just kind of just like, like just as part of like trying to coerce you into telling me more, and you're not. Like Iris is just getting upset, so she's just like, slamming her palms at him, and with such force that it would probably knock him off the trunk and onto the ground.
All right, we'll roll with volatile.
All right.
Are you lashing out?
Babe.
Sounds like it. Or are you turning him on?
That's later.
Just the endless question for every move in this game, or are you turning them on?
That's later. Volatile -1. Interesting. I don't know. Die 2d6 -1. Done. And roll.
7. So on a 7 to
Not
9,
terrible.
you harm them. Cain chokes up momentarily before he can react. So you knock Cain to the ground. He's kind of shocked by what you just did. So on a 7 to 9, you choose one. He learns something about your true nature and gains a string on you. The MC decides how bad the harm turns out, or you become your darkest self.
I'd say Cain learns something instantly about my true nature, and gains a string on me, and learns is that he sees that even though the intention was not, even though the impact was not fatal, he saw like the eyes of a killer, of someone possessed with like a similar demonic fury.
Okay.
And now has deeper understanding or knowledge of what he had been warned about.
So as you knock him to the ground, both of you are caught up in that moment, but when you kind of like come back to yourselves, you realize that the film strip has gotten jammed or is like caught up in the projector, and the image has, Marilyn's not there anymore, just a bright glare across this huge screen, and then the film strip where it's caught starts to burn, and there's an image of burning that spreads across the drive-in screen. And then it's just fades to darkness. And in that darkness, you hear the sound of a car pulling into the drive-in. And we'll come back to you in just a tick.
Never have the words "Marilyn is not there anymore" sounded so ominous. Just say.
I mean, possibly like in the late 60s, they sounded similarly ominous. But the Hope, you are back up on the rocks. Alone with this strange evangelical figure. After
has Dorian left already? Because I was thinking maybe I would use the moment when he was talking to the flyer guy to approach the bike suddenly, and so that. But if he's gone already, that's fine too.
Also, what are you intending to do?
I wanted to suddenly appear next to the bike, like she does, so that Dorian doesn't even know when she got there, when she caught up with him, and ask. So where are we going now?
I think you startled Dorian so bad that because he's like looking at the guy with the flyer, and he's reaching out to just like grab it out of his hand. And his intention is to zoom off, and then you appear on the other side of him, and he like turns and he loses control of the weight of the bike, and it like topples over. And when it does that, the contents of his like bag fall out on the ground. So if you want to see what he was putting in his bag, you could get that chance right now.
Absolutely. I think Hope drops to her knees immediately and starts picking up the stuff to help you.
And he's like, give me that back. And he tries to pull it out of your hands, and it's a copy of, it says the Tomb of Horrors on the top of it. And he's like shoving it into his coat pocket. He's like, what?
If movies have taught me anything, it's that if two characters like drop to their knees, like helping to repack a bag that has just spilled out over the ground, they have a romantic future together. So I don't mean to direct this at all, but that's definitely my assumption about Hope and Dorian at this point.
Do our hands touch too? I think awkwardly. Like,
I think maybe they do.
And our eyes meet definitely when we're raising our heads at the same moment.
Dorian, do you reconsider at all the question about photographs from a moment ago? Or maybe not until later.
I think he more just sees Hope. Like she's been around and maybe at the D&D club, and he's never really like noticed her, but like in this moment of panic, somehow the fear of like she sees what I've got here, and I'm like effectively cheating at D&D because I'm afraid of being bad at it. And I think he sees her and he feels vulnerable, and I think he's just like, we can go wherever you want.
Can we make it a turn on Dorian's part?
Sure.
Because I think that's more attention that she has gotten in a long time. So I think this would definitely qualify as turn on for her.
Oh boy, I don't want to roll the dice today. Oh, turn on.
So as the evangelist recognizes what's happening, he immediately starts quoting from the Gospel of Matthew about plucking out one's own eye rather than seeing something that might tempt one, etc.
Yeah, let me roll this and see what happens.
Oh,
wait.
So on a 7 to 9, Hope can either give you a string or choose to give herself to you, promise something she thinks you want, or get embarrassed and act awkward.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So like I say, she sees this sudden attention that she gives her, and she's not really used to it. And she feels seen for the first time in a long time. So she's looking at him, and she says, "I'm going with promise something I think you want." I think she says, "Yeah, we can go. We can all go wherever you want. Maybe you want to take a look at this book you have. I can maybe help you out with that. We can read through it together." Let me just add out of character, because I have this move that gives me XP when I help others resolve their conditions. So I want to help you get better at D&D.
I see. This is a selfless act here.
Both selfless and selfish.
Yeah. I think he says, yeah, sure. Let's. I guess we can go back to my house. And he gets up and picks his bike back up and reaches down and picks the pamphlet up that the guy was handing him. And he's just like, dude, and he just like chucks it at him. And he's like, get on, Hope.
Okay.
I need to zoom away.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll come back to you. So, Iris and Cain, it's dark in the drive-in now, and you've heard another vehicle enter. What do you do?
I grab Cain's hand, and we run, and I try to run and take cover like wherever the car's angle is, I'm either the best place to hide, either by the shed where the projector is or by the convertible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where, but I just want to sort of make it cinematically so that we can see the high beams of the car, but we're not caught in them.
Yeah, so I think there's like an old concession stand that, used to sell popcorn and stuff that you can duck behind pretty effectively. Cain, will you let Iris sort of drag you into this hiding place?
Yeah, I'm going to ask Matthew
to shove you to the ground.
I'm going to ask Matthew to turn someone on. You just grabbed my hand and pulled me behind a popcorn cart.
All right, let's see.
Probably not the right emotional reaction to this, but what might happen?
Adolescence is weird. That is a 9.
All right, so you can give Iris a string or choose one of the reactions.
I love the visual of Cain acting super awkward in this moment as Iris is trying to be like all dangerous and cool, and I'm kind of bumbling and like don't really know what's happening.
Iris is trying. Iris is dangerous and cool. Yeah.
And I'm poking my head around to look at the car, and you're grabbing me to pull me back behind the thing. No, I let you pull me along.
Mm-hmm.
So Iris, you with your killing training experience, I imagine you a little bit like Jason Bourne at the start of the Bourne Identity, in the diner, knowing exactly all the exit routes and who has a gun and whatnot. You're in the middle of what's essentially a big open field. If there's a problem here, the only way out is likely going to be confrontation, or at least that's your instinct.
All right.
And you see this car pull up quite close to the old convertible that you were just sitting on.
Mm-hmm.
2 men get out of the car. You immediately recognize them as, not the individuals, but you recognize them as working for the same project that developed you, that you escaped from. What is it about these 2 guys that tells you they're with that project?
I'm trying to think of something that is a little bit more clever than just suits, but you know what? Let's make them dress like. Do you remember the movie Falling Down, with Michael Douglas as a former defense contractor engineer?
Mm-hmm.
So they've got the very clean haircuts and the white work shirt. I'm not sure. I don't know the language for that, but basically, where you can put a pencil, a pocket protector.
Yeah.
And they've got the oatmeal gray pants and everything like that, or coffee brown. I'm not sure which color matches, and a tie. And the only thing that tells you that they mean business outside of looking like they're just pencil pushers is that they're jacked as shit. They're super yeah. It's I got a better peg, a similar peg. Remember Mitch Pileggi from the X-Files who plays Skinner, right? He's got this whole I'm just the middle manager, but you see he's got shoulders that are so wide. Yeah.
All right. Cain, what do you make of these 2 incredibly jacked middle management nerd-looking guys?
Oh boy, I don't know what I've gotten myself into. These guys are very different from the usual police that tend to show up when I appear somewhere. So usually I can just kind of run away, but I'm not really sure what's going on here. So I whispered to Iris, do you know these guys? What's going on?
I sort of like go shh to Cain and just try to see what they're doing, what they're looking for. Yeah, I wonder if I can. Yeah. And I keep my cool. So
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
yeah,
roll
name
with
what
cool.
you're afraid of. Yeah, roll.
Yeah, what are you afraid of?
I think it's pretty. I think pretty clear. Like having to go back with ooh, what? There we go. And rolling.
Ooh.
5.
So as you hush, so that's a miss. So mark XP. As you try and hush Cain, you see both of them like hear you. Both of them turn towards you. Both of them put their hands on their guns, and they start advancing towards the spot where you're hiding. What do you do?
How badly I poke I kind of like glance around. How badly do you want to get out of here?
Very badly, very much.
I'm going to ask the dark power for something that I desperately want, which is for both of us to leave.
All right. And does the dark power gets to ask you something in return? Is that
the MC will attach a price to it and hint at an undesired twist. If I pay the price, I get the thing.
okay?
This situation ended quickly.
So you can hear these two guys with their hands on their guns approaching you. One of them is calling out, "Iris, we just want to help. We're just here to help. Come out with your hands where we can see them. We don't, he has this nervousness in his voice, but he's heavily armed." Cain, you hear Papazotl say, yes, in this horrifying kind of eldritch demonic voice that he uses or it uses. "You've been a good servant to me and I'm happy to help, but it will no longer be enough for you to dispose of the bodies that others arrange. I will need you to kill for me."
Oh, no.
Are you ready to kill for me, Cain?
You're talking about right now, aren't you?
Not now, but soon.
Soon.
If that's an agreement, the dark power will take you both safely away.
I think the whole popcorn cart goes up in purple flames. And there's almost this like explosion. And just like this heat that causes these guys to take a couple of steps back, and then the fire is just gone as quickly as it was there.
Yeah, absolutely. And the audience watches as one of these guys pulls out a radio and says, yeah, we didn't get a visual, but we're pretty sure she was here, but she got away. Something weird. We'll be back soon. So meanwhile, Hope and Dorian, I don't know if we want to like have a scene of where you two go, if we want to like fade to black and maybe either do or don't like just play out your sex moves. Like, what are you thinking happens after you leave the rocks?
I think for Dorian's part, he's heading home, and just having like Hope's arms wrapped around him like the whole way back is just a situation he's never been in before, and so it's causing like a lot of confusing mixed emotions because I think her hands are probably like cold, and like you would think it would be like two warm bodies pressed against each other on the bike, but it's not. But it's also a girl, and she's got her arms wrapped around him, and that's kind of cool. And so I think they go back to his place, and he puts on the Cure, maybe, or something. I don't know what, something like that. And if Hope wants to like look at the thing, the adventure, he will. But he's also just like, I think, awkwardly just like sitting there, like. I think he just says, "So that guy up there was weird, right?"
Yeah, totally. And I think Hope really sat down and opened the book and started to analyze the situations from the game before, and she was about to explain. See, this is where you made the mistake. You should have gone this way, and so on. But then you mentioned the guy. And she drops the book. She forgets about it immediately. It's as if she was switched on to another topic completely. So she's she's moved on from that, and she fishes out the crumpled flyer that she took from the guy on the ridge. She fishes it out from her pocket and unwraps it and looks at it pensively for a moment. Yeah, I wonder if they're rebuilding that convent just to burn it down again.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but that would be weird. What before he showed up though, you were standing on the edge, like, and you got this weird look in your eyes. What were you thinking about? You weren't gonna jump, were you?
Can I try to keep my cool in the situation when we specifically start discussing my death?
Yeah, that makes sense. What are you afraid of?
He might find out that I'm dead. I think that would be the logical place to go.
All right.
So
roll with cold.
Yeah, I got +2. Okay.
Oh,
incredible!
The dice roller is a cruel master this evening. All right. So, I mean, I guess that so you've tried to keep your cool and conceal the fact that you're dead. But I guess that this implies that that Dorian realizes, or that you say something or do something that gives it away.
I start acting really shifty.
I think Dorian
trembling and all that.
Like he's like, "Whoa, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you," and he like reaches out and like takes your hand, and he's like, "Look, I didn't mean to like." Anyway, I go up there because like I want to be alone, and it's like the one place where you can just like look down and see how small this town is and realize it doesn't matter. But
I know, and you stop hearing the noise, and you don't you don't. You know that no one is watching you when you're out there. You know that you're on your own and you can really think about stuff. And it's like they have the same. Maybe they find out they have the same attitude to the place, and they find for similar. They look for similar things when going there.
Yeah, I think so. And I think he just talks a little bit more about like liking the way the wind comes up and the smell of the trees up there or something like that. So
and maybe they share some observations that they both had about the place.
Yeah.
So there's some connection starting there.
Yeah.
Cool.
And how does the conversation end? Does Hope?
I'm happy for it to go either way. Like if you want to go to sex moves, we can go to there, or if it just ends awkwardly, like that's fine too.
I would like to ask Shane if does the discussion that we have, the newfound connection that we have, does this maybe help me resolve my traumatized condition from?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to let you answer that. Does it?
Okay, I think so, because I'm discussing openly the place that I was traumatized by, and I'm picking up this empathy from Dorian, which I didn't expect at all, knowing him, knowing his reputation, and having observed him in the D&D area today. I think definitely. I think this is enough for her to calm down, to cross off that condition, basically. And this means that we both mark experience, because Dorian helped me resolve the condition.
All right.
So let's do that. And I'm no longer traumatized for now.
Great.
And now I think there's no time to waste. I think we should get straight to the sex move. I think Hope has been longing for this kind of human connection for so long. It doesn't take much to get her to this place.
Yeah, and I think Dorian has.
And she has no respect for boundaries, so she might just initiate it.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And I think at first Dorian's like, "Whoa!" Like he was like excited by the motorcycle ride home, but like still kind of like freaked out. And then like it's like, "Whoa!" And her lips are cold.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think he realizes also just like he's never like, even though he's been part of this like D&D group, it's always been kind of like a power domineering weird thing for him, and I think he's never had someone who like talked like this before, and it just like happens.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
maybe if I may, one more thing. Maybe Dorian is so used to being the dominant party around his friends that maybe it's a novelty for him to be with someone who's talking so openly to him, and not visibly, under his influence.
Yeah.
Although she is totally under his influence, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Well, it's about to be under his influence, I think.
Yeah. Well, observation anyway.
Yeah. So the ghost sex move is when you have sex with someone, you both get to ask a question of one another. This can be asked in character or player to player, and they must answer honestly and directly. Do you want a minute to think about that, or do either of you know what you would like to ask?
I would want a minute to think about it.
And the Queen's sex move, I'm pretty sure I know this one, is
become part of the gang, I think.
Yeah, you gain the condition one of them and count as part of the gang. So look, it's basically on the hour now, so I might just like take a break and we could come back and resolve the questions from the sex move and see what else happens. So yeah, come back about 7 minutes past the hour.
Okay.
Great. See you soon. Cool. Is everyone good to keep playing? Cool. So Dorian and Hope each to ask, well, either the other character or the other player one question that will be answered honestly. Hope, let's start with you. What would you like to ask either Dorian or Rai?
I don't really know how to ask this in character, so I'll just ask Rai. Who is Dorian the most afraid of? Because I think she's interested in this social power that he has. It's something that she's never experienced, but she suspects it might be a facade to a degree. So she'd like to know who is he afraid of, really.
Great question.
Thank you. I was thinking about it the whole break.
I think he's the most afraid of Jennifer.
Okay.
And it wasn't until Cain showed up that he realized he was afraid of her, but he realized that she sees through his bullshit, and she totally called him out. And also, he still likes her, and so he feels vulnerable. And he's afraid that Cain's going to take her away, but he's more afraid of Jennifer than he is of Cain. Like, he feels like he can deal with Cain, I think.
Interesting.
Mhm.
And Dorian or Rye, what would you like to ask Hope or Adam?
I think while they're kind of lying there, afterwards, Dorian just says, "Why did you want to come with me?" Or why did you ask to come with me?
I think I wanted to know how it is to be around you, because people like you never noticed me before, and you'd never have noticed me before this thing happened, and before I changed. So I just wanted to, to see how it is.
What do you mean by people like me? Like, what does that mean?
People who find it so easy to influence other people and to make friends. Well, maybe not friends, but there's people that everyone wants to be friends with, and you're one of them, and you're like this magnet. You're like this magnet, and people are drawn to you, and I wanted to get a little sense of that, I think.
So I think Dorian feels awkward, but I think you also probably have to roll to turn him on. Because you're stroking kind of like this part of his ego.
And I was trying to justify a little, the fact that she became effectively a part of his gang, and I think it's kind of how she feels at the moment. She embraces it. I think.
Yeah.
Turn on, you say? Okay. Mm-hmm. But I think I will use a string that I have.
Oh,
okay.
Can I?
Yeah.
So I'll make it a 7 then, and by burning a string on Dorian.
All right. So yeah. So you can either take the string back or choose one of the reactions. Sorry. Yeah. So, Dorian, do you want to give Hope another string or choose one of those reactions?
I think he's flattered and like that. I think you see this, like, that he likes being flattered like that, and that that he gets kind of this like power weird high from it. And so I think you take another string because you get that insight into him.
Cool.
All right. So, Cain and Iris, you both disappear from the drive-in in this explosion of purple energy. And each of you, when the purple haze clears, are alone back in your homes, safe, alone. And yeah, I don't know how that feels, but you are kind of left.
Separated or
separated. Back in your own homes. You probably don't get a chance to catch up with each other until school on Monday. So I'm thinking, unless there's anything anyone else wanted to do or cover over the weekend, I'm thinking that we'll sort of frame ahead to the start of the next school week. Is that good for everyone?
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, the first thing I want to cover is just the conversations that you either have or don't have if you catch up with each other on the Monday morning. So, meaning, do Cain and Iris get a moment to talk about what happened, and also do Dorian and Hope decide to talk about what happened, or do they studiously avoid each other? So I'll start with Cain and Iris. What are you guys thinking?
So we're talking about Monday morning. Sorry, did you have something to say, Sam? I'm so sorry.
I think Monday morning, I think Cain isn't ready to talk about it yet. So I think if Iris, like, I can avoid you while I'm at school because you can't, like, there's some, yes, I come to school because I've been disciplined one too many times, like this week. So maybe next week, once it's started to die down again and I've gone to a couple of classes, but I think that like there's enough structure here that I feel like Iris can't, like, beat me up again or, like, try and murder me again. So I think Cain has enough of a ability to try and get away from you, I think.
Well, I guess that depends what Iris decides to do. So what does Iris want to talk to Cain on Monday morning, or what will she do?
She does actually. She definitely didn't anticipate being found in the drive-in. She didn't really anticipate having to not fight her way through it, and she definitely didn't anticipate that dark energy that she saw, that abyssal presence that she saw in Cain to manifest itself in such an explicit fashion. So there's a lot going on, in her mind to that she wants to parse and that she wants to go over with Cain. And I don't know how it's going to play out if Cain is resisting arrest, so to speak.
Well, what I'm imagining is that you guys see each other in the hallway, maybe near Cain's locker, because that's a logical place for you to try and find him. Cain, you see that Iris is approaching, and if you don't want to have a conversation with her, you can choose to either try and shut her down or run away. Both moves that, well, I mean, you could try and lash out physically. I don't want to rule that out. Or if there's any other move that you would like to try at this point. But to me, shut someone down or run away are the two that probably make sense.
As a player, lash someone out physically, I'll deserve it. Just say.
I don't think Cain lashing out at Iris is a good idea in any sense. I think Cain's first instinct is going to be to run away. Mm-hmm. Maybe this is the, like, I have to get to class, like, slams the locker closed and starts, like, turning away down the hallway.
So roll with volatile.
What is my volatile? Thought I was good at that. Nope, I'm bad at that. I'm -1.
Oh,
there's a 3.
All right. So you try. So mark XP.
Yep.
You try and get away, but you realize that Iris has somehow just moved that bit faster or gotten somewhere that you didn't expect her to. So Iris has a chance to ask ask you something or say something. What do you say, Iris?
Well, that was unexpected, mechanics wise. Let's see. I didn't think I'd catch up to. Okay. Would it count as shutting someone down to say to tell Cain like he can't run from his problems and he most certainly can't run from me?
I don't think you need to roll to shut someone down right now for saying that, because a voice echo, like the school PA comes on at this point, and normally it's like the school secretary who makes the announcements, but in this case, you all recognize the principal's voice. I don't know if we gave the principal a name, but the principal's voice loudly over the PA calls for Cain using your full name to please come to his office immediately. Schneider, thank you.
Principal
Schneider wants to see you.
I think Cain, like, I have this image of like the Iris with her like hand on the set of lockers, just blocking Cain's path, and Cain looks over at Iris. I guess that's me, and I like duck under your arm and turn a corner.
And is this just a convenient way to get away from Iris, or are you going to go to the principal's office?
I know what happens if I don't go to the principal's office, and it's not fun. So,
man, I don't want to come off. Tell me if I'm crossing a line here to the point of being like abusive here. Like I think Iris would trip him up.
I think that, like, if you're trying to trip him just like in an obnoxious way, that probably is a shut him down move rather than a lash out physically type move.
All right. Here we go.
Rolling with cold.
Oh, rolling with cold. Sorry.
Sorry, rolling to shut someone down rather than.
Yeah. My mistake.
Oh.
Ooh. That I like the idea of it backfiring on me. Let's see. So I do not shut them down.
do I shut you down? Do I turn on you and like maybe this is like I grab the front of your shirt and like push you into the lockers a little bit and like turn the tables 180, and you can see the purple fire. Trust me, drop this.
And I want to mirror your style, Sam the player, and say that let's make that a turn someone on. So roll with hot,
which is +1. That's an 8.
So you can give him a string or choose one of the reactions.
Oh, sorry. Is it me who declares that?
You get to pick. Give me a string or one of the 3 options.
I'll give you a string because I think that's going to be delicious in the future.
All right, great. So meanwhile, Hope and I'll ask first whether each of you seeks the other out. So Hope, do you seek Dorian out on Monday morning?
Absolutely. Hope now feels fully like part of his gang, so if they're standing somewhere together, hanging out, she just comes up like she's always been part of the group and acts completely casually with each other, with everyone, and maybe like casually grabs Dorian's hand, like they're a unit now, so it's natural. And may hopefully embarrass him.
All right. How does Dorian react to this?
Oh, Rye wants him to be like a nice person and like hold her hand, but I don't think that's true to like who Dorian is. Like
Jennifer's right there, right?
I know, and like Dorian's like not ready for all this. Like they had a moment, and that was crazy, and he's still processing, and he's definitely not ready to hold hands in public. But I think he kind of says, "Oh, hey, Hope. I wanted to see if you're available to help me with some pictures in photography class later, but I gotta go right now." He like beelines it out of there.
Well, I think you have to roll to run away.
Fair, fine, fair. It's volatile. I'm not good at that, I think. Okay.
Oh! So as you try to leave, you see Jennifer notice that Hope has taken your hand. You see the like wheels turning in her mind, and her eyes widen as she just turns towards you and says, "You fucked her?"
I need to play this for the 3, huh?
Well, you can still leave. Like if you want.
Yeah, no, I think he turns back to Jennifer and
Can I interject?
Yeah. I think he's just like, he's deer in headlights. He's just like,
okay.
Still got the hand and just like, she shouted that hella loud.
I think after learning Dorian's feelings about Jennifer, Hope now feels especially kind of protective about him and maybe possessive a little. And she steps in front of him, like shelters him with her body, and you don't talk to him like that. We're not in D&D now. You're not a GM here.
We'll roll to shut her down.
Okay.
Oh man,
I should be good at this. Let's see.
Can I also ask what's going through, like what emotions I'm feeling from Jennifer right now? Like, is she jealous or angry at all, or is she just like,
like her first reaction is surprise. It's a very successful shutdown. So I think that mainly you're seeing surprise. Maybe I'll even let you gaze into the abyss to see what you can figure out about her reactions. But let's just play out the shutdown first. So on a 10 up, choose one from below. What do you want to do with your shutting Jennifer down, Hope?
I think I'd like to give her a condition.
Jealous
comes to mind, obviously. I don't know if it's too obvious, but I think it fits.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, Dorian, if you still want to like gaze into the abyss to like feel out your kind of psychic connection with Jennifer, you can. But also, like that condition means everyone knows now that Jennifer's jealous. So that's also something that's just apparent to you without making any moves.
No, I think the the intensity of everything that's going on, he can't help but slide into that. Like there's a curiosity of like, what is she really feeling? Like, how deep does this jealousy go? And that is with Dark.
Yes.
Okay. Something else.
You rolled a 1 on 2d6. That's incredible. Yeah. All right, so Mark
get to-
XP.
Yeah, I get to level up. That's great.
You sure do.
Jeez. Yeah, XP marked. Yeah.
All right. So Jennifer will just look you straight in the eye and say, "That's fine." You like looking back and forth between the two of you. You have fun together, whatever it is that you do. I'm sure that you will be very happy together. And there's just like the anger bubbling in her voice is audible to you both. And she kind of grabs Michael by the arm just to have someone to go with her and walks away. And we'll end the scene there. Well, sorry, is there anything that Hope or Dorian want to say to each other as that happens?
Dorian's just kind of like still trying to wrap his head around what just happened. But I think he actually squeezes Hope's hand a little tighter. Just like he can't believe that she like stepped in front of Jennifer like that. But then he's also got this like horrible thought in the back of his head that like, oh, maybe Jennifer actually kind of likes me.
Mm-hmm. All right.
The last one to realize it.
So it's hard to beat that scene, but Cain arrives at the principal's office. The secretary tells you to go on in. As you open the door, you see both of your parents in the principal's office waiting for you, and so are two uniformed police. And the principal directs you to a chair and says that, these officers are here to talk to you. How do you react?
I don't go sit in the chair. I'm just standing in the doorway. What's going on?
So one of the cops say, "Come on in and sit down, Cain. You're not in any trouble. We just need to ask you some questions." And I think your mother probably nods and agrees. Yes, come on, Cain. Just come and sit down.
I'm going to try and figure something out about this cop. I'm gonna the uncanny voices. Dark Power gets another string on me.
How many strings does the Dark Power have now?
3.
3. Okay, I should be tracking.
I'm tracking it on my sheet.
Thanks.
You get to decide if I learn a secret fear, secret desire, or secret strength of his.
Huh. I'm gonna have to think about this for a sec. So, secret fear, secret desire, or secret strength. Okay, so you learn a secret fear of his. He fears that this quiet little suburb with its mundane crimes, that something bad is here now, that there's a darkness in the town, something satanic, something occult, something that's rising through this town. But I think that you don't think that he identifies you with that, but that's the fear that runs through him.
I think the whispering voice is like, he's afraid of us.
It could well be. So he So do you sit down at this point, or what?
Yeah,
Are you
I like. That's a new line. They haven't tried the "you're not in trouble" line before, so that's new.
All right. So the cop will say that his name is Sergeant Malone, and he will show you a photo and ask if you recognize this man. And it is the body that you disposed of recently at Papa Zottle's behest.
Ah.
What do you say?
Or
do you need to roll to keep your cool?
I might need to roll to keep my cool to figure out what I do say. I'm pretty cold. I'm not cold at all. Never mind. I thought I was cold. I'm dark. I'm brooding. I'm not cold. So roll -1.
It's when they say you're not in trouble that it's really sus, huh?
That's an 8. I'll take an 8.
Not so bad. Let's see. On a 10 up, you keep your cool. Okay. On a 7 to 9, the MC will tell you how your actions would leave you vulnerable, and you can choose to back down or go through with it.
So my actions here. Well, what I'm afraid of is that I don't lie convincingly, I guess, and so I'm going to lie to him. Of course, say that I've never seen this body before.
And I guess I tell you the consequences, and you decide whether you still want to do that or not. So he'll know that you lied, but he will not consider that you're actually involved in the crime at this point. He'll think that you're concealing something else. So you'll become suspicious to him in a different way.
Interesting. Okay. I want to figure out where that goes. So yeah, I'm going to follow through with that. No, I don't know who this is. And I hand the picture back.
I think there's like a reaction from everyone who all seem to know that you're not being honest with them. And Sergeant Malone will say, just take your time, son. Just make sure it's not you haven't seen him anywhere around town.
And I take the picture back and I look at it again. And I'm like, he's clearly not from around here. I know most of the people in this town. He's not one of them. I don't know who this is.
So Sergeant Malone will kind of nod and accept this. Your mum will speak up at this point. She says, "Now, just be honest with the police, son. You're not in any trouble. They just need to know what you know."
I don't know who this is.
So Sergeant Malone will step back in and say, that's all right. That's all right. You don't know him. Were you around the old refinery? And he names the date and time that you disposed of the body, like Wednesday night last week or whenever it was.
No, I was hanging out with friends.
Do you ever go to the old refinery?
Sometimes.
What do you do there?
Hang out. It's quiet. Nobody else goes there.
Did you ever see anyone acting strange around there?
As I said, nobody else goes there. That's why I do. So it's quiet. I can go there. I can sketch. I can be alone.
Well, you should be careful of that place. It's dangerous. This man, and he points at the photograph again, was found dead there. And we have a witness who says that you were there last Wednesday night, the time that he seems to have been killed. I think you should be honest with us.
I'm telling you the truth. I don't know who this man is.
Did you see his body?
Do I have to roll to keep my cool again?
I mean, you tell me. I'm happy for the result to just ride. If you feel like it's getting harsher and you want to roll again, then that's okay.
The other option is that I could try and shut this guy down and just like either act out or like just either like insist in some way that like this is stop asking me questions. I don't have any answers for you. Type shut someone down.
Yeah, if you want. I can't believe nobody suggested turn someone on.
It's a bit weird when it's a cop. So
not in this year.
So that's again -1. That's a 7.
All right. So on a 7 to 9, choose one from the list, and he's going to give you a condition.
I think I know what condition I'm getting. Can I gain? I'm going to gain a string on him.
Yeah. Okay. I am curious what condition you think he's going to give you.
Like I was thinking, like liar or dishonest or something like that. Just
I think the condition might be suspect.
Okay.
And are you wanting to? Do you want to use your string now, or are you just going to hold on to that?
Yeah, I guess the tempt them to do what I want, which is to just let me go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he'll make you promise to call him. Yeah. So he kind of like he accepts that this is like not going anywhere. He's like he hands you a card. He says, and he seems to be addressing your parents more than you. You know, give me a call if you remember anything, and take care. Don't go back to that refinery. It's not safe.
Don't have to tell me twice.
All right. So I think that like all of you, like you don't all have your like all of your classes aren't together or anything, but there's one class that you all share. And Cain, that's kind of what you would be scheduled to head back to right now. Maybe it's like biology class or something. Sorry.
Can I interject? Yep. I had the idea that maybe after the whole situation with Jennifer, I just assumed that everything is resolved by now. So I was happy to just leave Dorian alone. And maybe having heard the announcement earlier, I went to wait in front of the principal's office to see Cain when he leaves, because I have my suspicions about Cain and I've been observing him, so I want to see him what state he's in and what maybe if I can find out something about the situation. So
that's
if
awesome.
we can maybe put this in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe Cain doesn't notice you immediately as he barrels out of the principal's office. Mm-hmm. What do you do?
Yeah, what do you do to get Cain's attention?
I think I'll call you. Simply say "Hey, Cain, what was that about?"
The secretary is visibly shocked to realize that Hope is right there.
It's nothing. Come on, why are you here? We're already late for class. Come on.
Okay, so I start following you,
and we're walking together. Mm-hmm. Mostly because I don't want to talk in front of the secretary.
Okay. I see you didn't want to talk in front of the secretary. Why is that?
The police.
Are you in trouble?
He says no, but you can tell that he doesn't mean it.
Mm-hmm. Is there something I can do to help?
That is tempting.
Because
I don't know.
I can see that there's something going on, Cain, and I want you to know that if you need some assistance, I can maybe be of some help. Maybe you're just turning into a full-on therapist now. Maybe if you're afraid to speak to anyone else, I want you to know that you can always speak to me, because I will understand.
I will. I out of character. I will say that I'm getting more of the like, I'm desperate and I just want people to talk to me vibe from Hope instead of the therapist, which I'm okay with. Out of character, I don't know how Hope is going to help me in this situation. Did you have any ideas?
I'm following up on this whole condition resolving thing. Maybe I don't think you have any conditions that would be relevant at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm looking at my.
Sorry, can I throw something in?
Yeah.
If Hope can help you get out of the suspicions of the police somehow by finding out who killed the guy or framing someone.
Absolutely. Hope is all about helping people with their conditions.
Yeah, I need an alibi that says I wasn't where I actually was. If Hope is willing to be that alibi.
So once again, if you need me to do something, maybe I can talk to someone, maybe I can say something that would get you out of trouble. By all means, don't be afraid to ask. Can I maybe use a string to tempt him to open up like that?
Yeah.
So I'm tempting you. Accept my help, basically. Trust me, maybe. I don't know if we want to call it.
Yeah, no, I love maybe like you asked me to open up and I do the how am I gonna do this? Okay. And I look back at you, and you can tell that the cogs are going behind Cain's eyes, and he's like thinking and trying to figure out what to say in this moment. He's not very good at saying what he needs to say. I do need help, but I don't know that you want. Again, I don't think you want to get involved. And I wonder, since you have that string, what do you say that reminds me of that dream that makes me trust you?
What was that dream again?
The weird dream that makes me float around. I have no idea what the actual dream is about, but maybe you know.
I don't, but I'll focus on that second part. Hey, don't worry. I won't tell them that you float out of your bed at night.
Wait.
Your secrets are safe with me.
Wait, what?
No, it's fine. People do all sorts of things, I'm sure.
Okay, hang on.
And they don't need to know that.
No, I definitely grab you by the arm and pull you into the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what?
Okay, this isn't the time and place. We need to we need to do something to get you out of trouble and get the scent off you.
No, you're going to tell me now. What about floating around?
Cain, it's fine. I've seen you. Okay. I've just seen you, but you didn't hurt anyone when you were asleep. So if that's what you're afraid of, don't be.
So I think we might finish up there for this week
Mhm.
and wait and find out what happens next time, just so we have time for a round of stars and wishes before we finish up.
Okay.
So maybe we'll just go left to right across the character keeper with a star and a wish. Adam, do you want to lead off?
Yeah. Well, stars to the whole group, of course, for just letting me join and integrating me so seamlessly into the game. I feel like I've really been here all along, like Hope does. And specifically a star to Rai for going along with what we stirred up. And I'm sorry if I derailed your plans that you might have had, but I think it worked out pretty great between us. And for wishes, I would like the trauma of my death to come up again, of course, maybe in play once we get to the D&D table again. It would be ideal if there was something in the game that would trigger the trauma in me. And also, the cause of her death, of course. It would be great if it could be weaved into the story somehow, maybe with the cult, maybe whatever you have in mind, Shane.
Great, thank you. And Sam.
Yeah. No, that was great. I loved that. Like the whole thing with Hope and Dorian was fantastic. I loved every minute of that. And Matthew, thank you for letting us have this weird power struggle shouting match nonsense that I loved. And I actually really like our relationship, and I really want to kind of pull through that, even though Cain doesn't want to be in a room with you anymore. Sam wants Cain and Iris to be stuck in a room together, because that's always fun. So I really do look forward to that. Wishes. I kind of have a weird, like, I've got two moves that are like season climax type moves, and they're different. And so the darkest self for this character is very much a like hit a low point and then you have to build yourself back up very slowly out of this thing. And then I also have the can't save myself, which is when somebody saves you from forces too powerful for you to reckon with, they get bonuses. And so I'd like to trigger both of those, but I don't know in what order and I don't know how, but I'm starting to lay groundwork for that. And I really want to see that kind of work out. And I'm really looking forward to that.
Great, thank you. And Matthew, I think, is next.
Yeah, this is a great game. I want to give a star to Dorian once more to continuously embodying his character in a way I think that's very like special, and I think is the thing that gives the game a sort of like flavor that's the group a flavor that's like unique to its own. I want to give another star to Hope for really like setting the mood for the character in a way that I just is really where I like things to be for a game of this genre and this style. I'm a little sad that I haven't been able to interact with Hope yet, but everything that came out of those interactions with Dorian and Hope were like solid gold. Once again, another star to Cain for indulging me on this on this weirdness. I also like sort of like sub wish there. Like I look forward to seeing him hit his low point. I look forward to like because it's been 2 sessions of him just like sort of like like being a living clenched fist or and so when it explodes, like I can't wait to see it. um I had to admit that where I was interacting with Cain, like went in directions I didn't anticipate or didn't hope for, which isn't to say I'm not close off to other stuff, but the resulting backfire was just as saucy and just as great. I love it. I love, I'm like I wanted something else by the end of by Monday morning, but what I got was super cool. Like the moment Cain wanted to attack like Iris, I was just like, yes, I deserve that. Yes. And yeah, so this has been super cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks. And Rye.
Yeah, stars all around, but stars to Adam for jumping in and defending Dorian against Jennifer and shutting her down when I was flailing around hopelessly. So thank you for that. I also loved Cain and Iris's hallway scene with the arm out and ducking under, and then the reverse shutdown. That was great. So stars to both of you for that. And Shane, I'm loving how you're bringing in all these other larger plot elements, and I don't know if you have a plan, but it seems like you do, and I want to know what it is.
I'll take it.
So those are my stars. My wishes is for some sort of Jennifer, Cain, Hope, Dorian explosion, nuclear meltdown. But I don't know if we're quite there yet. I think we need to build some of that up, maybe a little bit more. But I'd also like to see the D&D group just like go down in flames, like whatever happens in that like dice being thrown, right? Like just
like most D&D groups who play the
but for like next time, I want to have like a little. At some point, I want to have a scene in the photography room at
the dark room,
yeah, the dark room, because that's just like going back to my own high school experience. Like I spent a few times in the dark room with different things, like nothing saucy, but of course, but it's just like an angsty time in photography class when you're.
Wait, Riot, so you're saying there was no John Carpenter music playing every time you went to the photography room?
No, I think I probably wanted there to be some, but yeah, never had any luck with that. So.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. I just want to do a quick round of stars. Adam, a star to you for jumping in, and also I just really appreciate the kind of blank spaces that you built into your character for me to play with. Like I really appreciate that. Cain and Iris trading, I think you should roll Turn Me On for that. That was a fantastic dynamic. That was really fun. And Rye, buying the adventure to read, just absolutely perfect. Can't wait to see how that plays out. I don't know that I have a wish, but I am curious as to whether Jennifer is the kind of dungeon master who will like take out her interpersonal vengeances on players or the group. And I guess we'll find that out next week. So thanks very much, everyone.
Wait, I just want to give one more thing. More thing. I always forget. I want to give a star also to Shane for just rolling with me and like with my obsession with mood and cinema and influences and aesthetics. Like thank you for like just like really like soaking that all in. And my personal wish really is I just want to see those engineer dudes. Like I can't wait till those jacked white shirt guys like everything goes to shit. And yeah, that's it. That's it for me. I promise.
The Marilyn Monroe on you in your silhouette, that part was great too. So, yeah.
All right. Thanks very much, everyone. I'll see you next week.
Bye everyone. That was great.